Happy New Year, Uxbridge. I have not done a video for Uxbridge before by popular demand from my clients and past clients. I've been asked to expand my videos, and so I'm doing that more into Durham region. So Uxbridge is one of the new areas that I'm going to be covering for 2022. So like my other real estate videos, we're going to have a look at the most current month of data we have in the Toronto Real Estate Board, which is December 21. We'll compare that with what happened a year ago in December 20. And then we'll have a look at November 2021 as well for a bit of contrast, and I'll explain the stats as we go along. So if we look at December 20 in Uxbridge, and now this is across all home types, new listings that came to market were 14. We had 15 sales through the month and 28 active listings. Active listings essentially are what didn't sell and carry over into the next month. If we follow through into November 21, we had 21 new listings come to market in Uxbridge. Sales were 18 through the month, and active listings, which carried into December, were 21. And in December, 11 new listings came to market, 19 sales through the month. So we sold almost double what came out. And active listings, which carried into January 2022, were 10. If we're looking at the money, $1,012,000 was the average sale price across all home types in Uxbridge a year ago. November 21, that climbed to $1,379,000 and currently trending at $1,808,000. Now I know what you're thinking. That's a pretty big gap, right? And you have to remember what we're talking about here is an average sale price across all home types. So if in 1 month, Uxbridge would be leaning more towards bigger acreage properties. So if more farms sold during the month of December, then of course it's going to pull that number up. And if more in-town houses sell, then of course it's going to pull that number down. So that may differ as it reflects to your particular house type, whether it's town, semi, link, detached, whatever. Sales to new listings ratio, also known as the absorption rate, it tells us out of the homes coming on the market each month, what is the percentage that are actually selling? And it is calculated by taking the sales divided by the new listings coming out. So 107.1% of the homes that came on the market in December 2020 sold. And so you can see that through the numbers, right? You had 15 sales and you had 14 new listings that came out. So that 15, so I mean, if this is zeroed out at 14 and 14, the active listings are what made up for that extra listing there, right? 85.7% of the houses that came on the market sold in November, currently trending at 172% of the houses that came on the market sold in December in Uxbridge. So again, we're just looking at a lack of inventory. And if you want to talk about what's a buyer's market, what's a seller's market, when you're looking under 50% in this number, that's indicative of a buyer's market. So there is more more supply than there is demand. Between 50 and 60% is what we would call a balanced market. So there's enough supply to meet the demand. And then when you're 60% and over, certainly at this number, you would be indicative of a seller market, which there is not enough supply to meet the demand. And so we're seeing this 172% through the numbers. We had 19 sales, we had 11 listings, so literally about half, right? Months of inventory remaining is a stat that complements this. If I'm gauging the market, when I'm speaking to my buyers and my sellers, my clients, and I'm talking about what's going on in the market, I'm referring to these two stats here. So the months of inventory remaining tells us that if no other homes came on the market after today at the current rate of buying or the current rate of consumption, how long would it take to deplete the inventory? And now how we're calculating this is we're taking the active listings, which are the carryover inventory, and we're dividing them by the sales, right? So 1.9 months of inventory in December 2020, 1.2 in November 21, currently trending at 0.5. So you got a couple weeks of inventory sitting in Uxbridge right now. Sale price to list price ratio, 99.9% of asking a year ago, 105.2 in November, currently trending at 102% of asking, so homes selling 2% over asking. And days on market to get a home sold, 23 a year ago, 11 in November, and 24 in December. Now, you're probably doing a little head scratch here going, how is this 24 days with the market this hot, right? We have a declining inventory. We have a really massively increased absorption rate. And what I'm going to offer you is this is typically what we see when we're seeing a really high absorption rate and a low, because these two are always going opposed to each other, right? So when we're seeing inventory go down, the absorption rate's going up. And so when we see the market doing this, but we see a days on market counter actually going up as well, look at the numbers here. So we had similar sales to the month before, but we had literally half the amount of listings came out. But we also have about half the amount of active listings. So what I would offer you is the buyers that were buying in December were going back and picking off this active inventory, which that inventory may have been on the market for 21 days, 40 days, 60 days. They are out there, believe me. And so what that happens is when you're calculating the average days on market, it actually pulls the number up. So look, folks, I know this can be like drinking from a fire hose sometimes. There's a lot of information in the market. I do my best through these videos to try and put it in a very simplistic way so you can understand. But if you have any questions at all on how this would pertain to your specific home type, or if you're considering making a change in 2021, I would love to hear from you.